The views and opinions expressed on the following program may not necessarily reflect the views of the staff, management, or board of Hope Media Group and KSBJ. It's what's happening around us, in our town, suburb, city, in our community. It's Community Beat with Kim Kasi McKee on 89.3 KSBJ.
Well, hello and welcome to Community Beat, where we're keeping you tuned in to the topics that are impacting our local communities and helping them thrive. I'm your host, Kim Kasi McKee, and today we'll be talking to someone who is no stranger to KSBJ. In fact, for the past few years, he served along with several other influential leaders in our city on KSBJ's President's Council. It's comprised of leaders who join with us throughout the year, helping to make our communities the best that they can be. Our guest today is J.J. Moses, author of Focused, the Prepare to Win Mindset, which has been referred to by one of the readers as a perfect playbook for success. Hello, JJ, and thanks for joining us today.
Kim, it is so great to finally connect with you, my friend. And I was telling you earlier, my wife and I, we're just big fans of you. And you've always had that inspiration, that hope that individuals need throughout the community. And it's, again, one of the highlights of my career, just to sit down to finally have a conversation with the one and only Kim. So thank you again.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry that our listening audience can't be here to see your energy. They'll feel it. But JJ is just a ball of energy. And so we're just so excited to have him with us. So JJ, we know you, but for the purposes of those who may be getting to know you today, tell us about yourself. Who is J.J. Moses? Where are you from? What are some of your most favorite things? Tell us about your family. So just kind of take us on your journey.
Well, Kim, first of all, family is everything to me, of course. And,
yes.
I've been married for 14 years. My wife's name's Sarah, and we have 3 amazing, fun-filled, energetic, motivating kids that never sleep, that always wants to play, but we're just so blessed for our kids, Zoe, Noel, and then Jay. So my third try, we had a son. And so we're so excited. We're in that time frame where the Moses family, we're always constantly busy. And I met my wife at Lakewood Church. I attend Lakewood, been there for many, many years. And so it's been a blessing. But originally, Kim, I'm from a small town in Iowa.
What you say?
Right. I'm from a small town in Iowa. And so to be in a big city, it has been definitely an adjustment, but I'm grateful that God directed my paths to be here. But growing up in a small town, born and raised, my mother and father, we, they worked at John Deere's tractors and the company. And so if I didn't play football, to be honest with you, I probably would have ended up working within that field at John Deere's and picking corn or building tractors or whatever the case.
Farmland.
I was a farmland, yeah.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm accustomed to, and that's what I was brought up in.
Well, having met your beautiful wife, Sarah, and of course, now we don't have to have paper albums anymore. We can have an electronic brag book. So just to be able to see your beautiful children was such a tremendous gift. So JJ, tell us, what inspired you to write this book? It's just one word, but it's one powerful word, the word focused.
Focus, Kim, was my motto growing up. It was something that God had put inside of my heart that I knew in order for me to accomplish my goals, in order for me to fulfill a dream, in order for me to reach the heights that I had in my heart, it was going to take that one word, and that word was focus. And so I remember as a young kid, I was in high school, and I would, before a football game, I would write on my notebook and scribble on it, focus, focus, focus. And I would write that word at least 100, 200 sometimes, because that was something that I was beginning to see. That's what I needed. I remember in art class, I would make a necklace. I made a necklace and it said the word focus. I would go to a barber shop, and this was back in the day when guys would cut their hairs and they would have all these different fancy sides and parts. And I remember the barber sketching in the word focus in my hair before the big games.
Wow.
And so it was, again, that was my motto. And not realizing that years later, fast forwarded, 20, 30 years later, that the book that I was going to come out with was the name Focus. And then the Prepare to Win mindset, I read in the Bible that mentioned prepare is mentioned 149 times
Wow.
in the Old and New Testament.
Amazing.
So God has put an emphasis on the word prepare. And so, of course, as believers, we know that we have to be prepared for Christ's coming. And I think also God is telling us to be prepared in our career, prepare ourselves in relationships, prepare our minds just to have healthy mindsets. And so I know the importance of being prepared to win in life. And that word prepare, I love this scripture in the Bible, but it says in 1 Peter, it says, prepare your mind for action. And one word when I think about is action is the word focus.
Yes.
So focus again has helped me to overcome the odds and making it into the NFL. Again, the odds were 99% of all college athletes will not make it into the NFL. So just imagine if you're only 5'6", right? Or,
Yes.
imagine I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the credentials, and I definitely didn't have the physique to play in the NFL. But what I did have was this prepare to win mindset, which allowed me to step into some amazing dream job opportunities. It's given me success on and off the football field, but also it's helped me to navigate life's most difficult challenges. I've been through a lot. I've lost my job. I've been released from an NFL team. Unfortunately, I lost my father unexpectedly several years back, and that was my best friend. That was my mentor. And a lot of times I feel as believers, we can question, God, why did that just happen?
That's right.
This is not fair. We didn't deserve it. But instead of sitting into the pain, instead of questioning God, why do things happen? This focus, prepare to win mindset, Kim, has allowed me to navigate life's most difficult challenges to continue to put me on a road for greater things ahead. And so that's been my motto growing up. And so here I am today with the book coming out, Focus, the Prepare to Win mindset.
Wow. So you have lived the pages of this book. You are living them. So when you were in a small town in Iowa, did you foresee or did you have such huge aspirations even then to someday live in a big city or be on a national stage? Did you even imagine that God had such huge things in store for you?
I did not realize all the different steps or the things that God had placed in my heart. I didn't know exactly what it all entailed, but
Sure.
I did have something inside of me of saying there's something out there that
Okay.
God has in store for you. Now, regardless if it was the NFL or whatever profession or whatever city
Sure.
that he was going to relocate me into, I didn't know, but I
Right.
just always had that inner voice saying, JJ, there's something for you to do. And then once I've tapped into it, obviously football was a vehicle that God was utilizing, but it's bigger than football. One thing that I learned, of course, throughout the course of my life, it's about impacting and inspiring and equipping others to grow in their life. So God has utilized me to be in sports to give me a so-called platform in which now I understand the power of utilizing it for his glory.
Wow, that is amazing. So JJ, talk a little bit about your faith. How did you come to know Christ? When did that transition happen?
Well, I was really fortunate and blessed, Kim, to grow up in a household where I saw it patterned within my parents.
Beautiful.
My father, my mother, every Sunday they would take us to church. There would be times where I'm like, man, why we got to go to church again? Like, I didn't realize
and
it.
you said take you. They didn't send you.
They took us to church. So we were all a part of it together. But I really remember this, and I tell this briefly within my book, but there was this one particular time where the Bible and just Christ became really present for me in terms of just more of a relational, just a connection. And I remember when we were going into Christmas, it was probably my 7th or 8th grade year. And, most kids, we want to have the newest toys or the bicycle or the game. And back in that day, it was like the Nintendos and all that. And so I was like, man, that's what I wanted. But my auntie at the time, her name's Aunt Jewel, instead of giving me my favorite toy, my favorite football, whatever, she gave me the most precious gift of all. And I didn't realize it at the time. And you know what that was, Kim?
I want to guess.
It was an actual Bible. When I saw that for the first time, I'm thinking to myself as a young 7th and 8th grader, what is this? What's this black leather book? I don't want to study over the holidays. But she gave me something, and I remember her telling me this, Kim. She said, this is going to be one of the greatest gifts that you will ever receive. And she had my name personalized on the Bible.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's when I really began to just dive into it. Chapter after chapter, reading and studying, and it's almost I became fascinated with the stories, and man, David and Noah, like, wow, did this really happen?
Wow.
And of course, going to Sunday school each and every Sunday, and I'm so thankful because when my aunt gave that to me as a young kid, that was something that it just sparked me. It just made an impression on me, and so when I got to the NFL, that's what I began to do with my teammates. I began to provide Bibles for them.
Wow.
And I remember this a few years back, but I know we're here in Houston and there's probably some Texas fans that are listening right now, but I thought this was just a cool experience of how God can utilize you even in the workplace. So I remember one, season when I was with the Texans back in 2003. And, we were getting ready for the holidays, and my locker was one locker away from the one and only Andre Johnson.
Wow.
Everybody knows Andre, big time Texans great, number 80 for the Houston Texans, had a phenomenal career in the NFL. And I remember during the holidays, God just put it in my heart to give Andre Johnson a Bible. And so I placed it in Dre's, locker, and of course, and he grew up in a household of faith.
Okay.
But it was just one of those things where God had put it in my heart to give it to Andre. And so, and Andre's influence is so great, and you never know the lives that he will impact, of course, but that was what I was always trying to do in the workplace, is just being a witness. If it's giving a Bible to someone that's in the locker room, leading prayers for our team, or whatever the case might be, going out and serving within the community. But it all started from that seed that my auntie and my parents, of course, planted in me a long time ago.
That is amazing. So talk to us about getting into the NFL, your experience. How did that happen from a small town in Iowa to now the NFL? Tell us about that. The
story was full of twists, turns, setbacks, rejections, discouragement, fear, anxiety, pressure. All of those words were a part of my story growing up because, again, 5'6", from a small town. I didn't have a blueprint to making it into the NFL. It wasn't like, people when I was younger said, oh, man, you're going to play in the NFL. I can tell. Matter of fact, it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Most people didn't even expect me to play in the NFL because, again, always the smallest guy in the crowd. And so throughout the process, that word focus, my faith in Christ, is what enabled me to not look at all the different scenarios or the setbacks that I had to face, but I just kept my eyes on Christ and I continued to navigate. And I remember after my senior year was over with playing football at Iowa State, like most young college athletes, I had a dream and a desire to play in the NFL, but only standing 5'6", most colleges or coaches said that there's no way that you're going to play in the NFL. The agent said that. But I continued to work out, Kim, as if I was going to get a call from an NFL team. Even though the season was over with, even though I didn't have any opportunities, wasn't invited to the combine. Just randomly, one day I got a call. I was at home in my apartment in college trying to debate what's next. My quarterback was getting many tryouts from many different NFL teams, in particular the Kansas City Chiefs. So he called me, Kim, on a Wednesday morning, and he said, JJ, can you come to our practice facility? I need somebody just to come catch footballs for me.
My goodness.
So I said, yeah, let's do it, man. I could come out and help you out. No problem. I would love to. Thank you for even thinking about me. So Saturday morning rolls around, Kim, and my quarterback's doing a phenomenal job. He's throwing the ball with accuracy. Any football fans here listening know what a wide receiver is, but I'm trying my best to catch the footballs and diving off of the balls. But as the workouts continue to go on and on, I noticed that the Kansas City Chiefs coaches and the head coach, they began to walk behind me. And the head coach pulls out a yellow notebook pad and he started taking down notes. And he said these words to me, "Good job, Moses." So I'm like, oh my goodness. That's the head coach from the NFL Kansas City Chiefs. That guy just said my name.
Wow.
So
starts feeling like a tryout.
it starts feeling like a tryout. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So the workout's finished. Nothing else to it. I was grateful for the opportunity just to help my friend. And I go to my chair and I take off my gloves and cleats. And the coach walks up to me. He reaches out his hand and he looks at me and he says, Moses, today you have just made it into the NFL. Kim, I went into that workout
Oh my goodness.
just to serve a friend, but God blessed me to walk out with an NFL contract.
Wow.
So I understand, and one lesson that I've learned, and something that maybe I can encourage our listeners today, is that I went in to serve a friend. I went in just to help somebody else out. Sometimes the power of serving can open up so many doors for you. And I love this example. Sometimes, Kim, I say it at times when I'm speaking to different businesses or schools or universities, is that when you live your life with an open hand, God can literally drop dreams and blessings to fall into the palm of your hands. You don't even have to chase after it. As long as you're doing what you have to do, stand focused on Christ, those opportunities, those connections, those resources, they will find you. And at times I feel as believers, we go through those difficult seasons with frustration, bitterness, disappointments, what someone has done in the past, and we tend to close our hands and we tend to close our fists. And it's difficult for those blessings and opportunities to continue to flow through. So that workout just reminded me, and I live this life to this day, is serving others, serving the community, serving within my relationship, serving within my marriage. And when I constantly have that mindset, that's what continues to allow God to bring blessings and even those dreams to flow through into the palm of my hands.
That is amazing. I happen to know you met your wife serving.
Yes.
You were on the volunteer team at Lakewood Church and serving as a greeter and serving. And it's so amazing that how just going about serving and doing what God places in our hearts to do, He can cause those divine connections or whatever that needs to happen. Our blessings can find us.
Kim, it can find us in our relationships. I know there might be individuals that have a dream or desire to get married, or they have a dream or desire just to be in connections with the community or whatever the case. But when I was playing for the NFL for the Houston Texans, I would, during the off season, Kim, I would go out and serve at Lakewood, not looking for a wife. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just wanting to serve in God's house. I just wanted to be utilized. And so with that being said, I would have never dreamed in a million years that I was going to find my best friend, my everything, by serving at Lakewood Church. And we all know this scripture, but a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. And I am a testimonial of, man, how God has blessed me and has given me such a precious person with Sarah. And here we are 14 years later, and it's just been amazing.
Wow. If you're just tuning in, we are speaking with our dear friend, JJ Moses, author of Focused, and just literally getting some fresh injections of inspiration because he is truly a huge encouragement. So, JJ, speaking of the book Focused, what is one of your favorite strategies from the book?
Oh, my goodness. Well, and it's hopefully you guys will get an opportunity to read it, but there's 21 practical steps that I unveiled that has helped me in career, relationships. And man, it's tough to really say which one, but I think there's one that I think is common denominator for all, whether if you're a sports player, you're a parent at home, or you are an entrepreneur, or you work in real estate, whatever the case. But one thing that has been inspirational and impactful within my life has been writing goals down.
Okay.
And I know that sounds so cliche because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, what about goals? But I read a study that mentioned 80% of individuals, they do not write goals down. And
80%.
sometimes 80%.
Wow.
And so sometimes we wonder, man, why did I not fall into my dream job? Or, man, how come I didn't get that opportunity? Well, I want to encourage you guys out there today is to write your goals down. The Harvard Business School conducted a goal writing study years back. And on that study, they saw that 3% of their students wrote goals down, and they put them in a place where they can actually see them, whether their goals were on their cell phone, their goals were on their wall. And then 13% of their students had a goal, Kim, but they just did not write them down.
Okay.
84% of their students didn't have a goal at all. 10 years later, they discovered that the 13% who had a goal but just didn't write them down, they earned 2 times as much as the 84% who didn't have a goal at all.
Wow.
But check this out, and this is the amazing part. The 3% who took time just to write their goals out, they earned 10 times as much as the entire group.
Oh my goodness.
So we all know how important it is to visualize. And I saw that for the first time within my life just by writing goals down, Kim, and putting them down. And I love that scripture says, write the vision, write the vision.
And make it plain.
And make it plain. And even as I've transitioned out of the NFL, my goal was I wanted to impact and to build a program for individuals to be professionals on and off the football field or just professionals within their life. And I wanted to work in the NFL at that time. And so I wrote that goal down. I even wrote my salary down, Kim, or exactly what I wanted to make.
Wow.
Do you know, within about 10 years of writing that goal, sometimes goals take a little longer and you have to be willing to wait for it. 10 years later, I end up stepping into that dream job that I wrote about. And not only did I step into it as a director of player development for the Houston Texans, but I also received the exact same salary that I wrote 10 years ago. Kim, it wasn't a penny off. It wasn't a dollar short. It was the exact same amount that I had wrote and visualized myself making. When I got to the NFL, and this is amazing as well. So a lot of times when we're in different occupations, you wonder, man, will this apply to if I am in school or if I'm working on, if I'm working in a company? When I got to play in the NFL my rookie season, and of course, you see all these talented football players from all across the world. And we were getting ready as a rookie. We were getting ready to play a team on Sunday. And typically during the NFL games, we have a walkthrough in which the team will prepare and kind of go through the dress rehearsals of what a game looks like. So the starting running back from the Kansas City Chiefs, I noticed something different about him. He waited for all of his teammates to leave out of the practice field. And as everybody left, he stuck around and he began to walk up and down the football field and he was talking to himself. So I saw it and I caught my eyes. I was like, man, what is he doing? So after he came into the locker room, I say, bro, what were you out there doing, man? What's going on? He said, JJ, I wrote my goals down. Now I'm visualizing myself making big plays. Long story short, that particular player went on to win the Super Bowl. He led the NFL off in rushing and scoring touchdowns, and he's also a part of the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame. But he understood that principle. So it's amazing when you see individuals that live by what you believe in and you see that it pays off for them. It's so inspirational. And so that's what I would do when I was working with our players with the Houston Texans. I made it such a key to write down your goals, whatever it might be, personal, relationship, within your career, and give your goals time, because you never know, just by writing those goals down, you could be a part of that 3% that can step into once in a lifetime opportunities.
Wow. That's amazing. Simple but profound truth with proven results.
Proven results.
Just being able to write it down. That is incredible. So tell us, how do you remain focused in your life? I mean, you have a whole lot to focus on.
That's right. It's so funny you say that, because there's distractions, right? We're going to all have distractions, especially in today's world. We got
That's right.
distractions from social media. We got distractions from TV. We can have distractions at work. We can have distractions from a job change, a relocation. I mean, whatever it is, we have distractions. That's life. There's studies that say 3 out of every 4 workers are distracted. Distractions can reduce professionalism in the workplace, and it can also affect, I believe, productivity. So
doubt.
I know the importance of being attentionally focused, being a player, working in the front office, going through life's most difficult challenges. The stats are amazing, but when there is a system or even a program in place that helps individuals to remain focused, it'll blow you away. 75% of individuals say that they feel more happier, they're more motivated But this is what I love the most. They feel more purposeful. By being focused, I believe that's what puts you on a road to finding your purpose. We can live this life for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, but we will not know what our purpose is. But by remaining focused on Christ, remaining focused on your craft or whatever the case might be, that's what enables you to continue to find and to walk in your purpose.
Wow. So really being focused helps you to be even more productive.
Absolutely. And stats, statistics, the metrics, everything you look at, it could tell you that it's important. And I love this as well, but a person's focus, Kim, it can keep you safe in life. It can give you success. And I ultimately believe that it can take you to the next level. And everyone's next level is different. You know, I remember years back, my wife and I, we were having lunch at one of our favorite spots here in Houston. And we were with our friends, and our waiter came in, and they set our plates down and took our orders. And, you know, they placed our forks and all that to let us know that in a few moments our meals will be out. And so as we were talking and socializing and connecting with our friends, we noticed that the other waiter from the other side of the room accidentally spilled everybody's dishes. And there was a piano guy playing at that time in the restaurant, and he even stopped playing the piano because he was so, distracted about that big noise. And everybody from our table was looking over there. And I was like, man, what just happened?
Wow.
Kim, we were so distracted with that situation, with that waiter dropping all those dishes. We did not even realize that our waiter had already came back, set our meals in front of us, and it was already hot and steaming because we were so hot. Sometimes in life, distractions can keep us unfocused, and maybe God has those things or that blessings or those opportunities. They could be sitting right next to us, right underneath our feet.
Oh my goodness.
But those distractions could keep us away from seeing the main thing. And so I took that as a great example that
Absolutely.
in life. And, with me being a kickoff and even a punt returner in the NFL, my primary job was to be a punt returner and even a kick returner. And so if you guys know what that is, it's going back there basically catching a football. But I take this as a life example, but life is like catching a punt in that if you remain focused despite what comes your way, your focus will take you to another level. And so by remaining focused, that's what enables me to kind of continue to go through life, even in the most difficult situations.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I am so motivated right now to do anything.
Let's go, Kim. Let's go get it. Let's stay focused.
Hyped up. Wow, this has been amazing. We're talking to JJ Moses. He's the author of Focused, and just such a ball of energy and motivation and inspiration. And so we're just so honored to have him to speak with us today. So JJ, who is this book written for? Who can it help? Who's the ideal audience for this book?
When I wrote this book, it was birthed out of a situation where I was dealing with a lot of adversity. There was times of pain. There was times of frustration. And I think as in people, we have more in common than what we don't have in common. If you look at what the world is going through right now, people feel rejected. They feel hopeless.
Yes.
They feel like, man, is God even real? Or, man, I want to have healthy relationships, or I want to learn how to let go of the past. I've made too many mistakes. Does God really love me? So this book is really centered around anybody that wants to continue to grow within their faith. They want to grow within their personal settings, professional. And I'm so blessed, Kim, because when I brought this program or this particular mindset to the NFL, within the first few years, the NFL ended up ranking the Focus, the Prepare to Win mindset, as the #1 professional and personal development program throughout the whole entire NFL.
Amazing.
There's 32 teams in the NFL, but
Wow.
I'm big on helping individuals to grow, to be the best version of themselves. And so this book speaks to anybody.
That's right.
And as long as you got breath in your body, you want to make the most of life. You want to be prepared for your opportunities. You want to learn how to make great decisions in life, because there's times in life when you don't know what to do. You feel frozen. This book is for you. And so I speak to the heart and women in life, and just to anybody that wants to continue to leverage life, leverage success, and to continue to go to the next level.
Oh, that's awesome. So obviously you're speaking to a Christian audience, many throughout our listening audience. Tell us, how can we be praying for JJ Moses in the days ahead, especially in this new season?
Absolutely. And I thank you for that because, a lot of times when you give so much, you give your time, you give your energy, you also need to learn how to take care of yourself.
That's right.
Self-care. And I think that's the biggest thing because I could just go. And I just think if anything, sometimes your mind is constantly ticking or you got a new idea or you got a new way of doing things. It's like, man, I just need to learn how to sometimes turn it off. But, right now I feel like I'm in my 40s. It's like, man, I could just conquer the world. Let's go. Let's do it again. But I also understand and, just it's always best to be just take your time. Enjoy the moments, smell the flowers, be in the moment, be present, being focused in that aspect. And so I think for the audience, it's just to continue to pray that, God utilizes me and, just strengthens our family and just also his word will prevail through this as well, through this conversations and within this book.
Absolutely. How can others follow you? Just kind of have a window into your world. And how can they get the book?
Oh, my goodness. I would be honored. Yes. I mean, I'm on Instagram, JJ Moses 32. Also, I'm on Twitter at JJ Moses 84. And I'm on, of course, Facebook. And, they can follow me on my website, jjmoses.com.
Okay.
And those are it. And if you want to find the book, it's pretty much, you can buy it at anywhere you could purchase books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. We have an event with Barnes & Noble's coming up. And so overall, you can just pretty much find the book wherever books are sold.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to our guest, JJ Moses. JJ, we appreciate you and all that you do throughout our community and throughout the world, just for your influence and your walk with the Lord.
Kim, coming from you, that means the world. I just know that God will continue to guide and bless you and your family. Thank you for always just being an encouragement for all of us. And you embody what hope is. You embody the characteristics of an individual that continues to bring that positive, that energetic mindset to all of us. And this world needs more Kim. So thank you for all of what you do as well, my friend.
Well, thank you so much, JJ. And as always, thank you to our wonderful listening audience. And we hope you'll join us again for another edition of Community Beat.
Thanks for joining us for Community Beat with Kim Kasi McKee. Join us every Saturday morning at 5:30 on 89.3 KSBJ.